Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Tuesdays with Dr. T. So today I am a little more nervous than usual. Okay, so because I am going to be sharing very real, true, raw stuff that we have been through, we have gone through with Muhammad and his, journey. So I wanted to know if you guys are, here just to learn more about it and, share your own stuff as well, because I will be finding your comments and answering them as much as possible, weaving in and out. But today what we are doing is a little different, because usually what I do is I give you guys a lot of information, a lot of techniques, strategies, what to do, what not to do, how to do stuff and whatnot. But today I felt like I need to share what has happened to me, what has happened to Muhammad, how did we come this far, because many a time I will see, I will get comments from people saying that, your child doesn't seem autistic. He doesn't behave like one. So I'm like, what you are seeing now is so much different. What you are seeing now is so much different because we have been working with Muhammad since 2019-ish, at the end of 2019, I would say the beginning of 2020. That's when we started with Muhammad, helping him on his recovery journey. And it was pandemic, and I am not much of a sharer. If you don't know already, okay, I'm not much of a sharer. I didn't do, now that I'm doing a lot of lives and, photos and posts and whatnot. I was not like this before. I was very shy, very much into myself and inside my vortex, trying to struggle through. So I rarely posted about his struggle, because here is one thing. I truly believe this. When you come onto the internet, when you take your phone outside of your, let's say you took your kids your kids are sleeping or napping and whatnot, and then you had like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you take on your phone and then you come into the internet, not to be more bogged down, not to see more mothers struggling, not to be even more stressed. You take your phone, you scroll through your Instagram or you scroll through your YouTube and stuff to feel entertainment, to feel better about yourself, to see something that will lift you out of your sadness. So I wanted to be that person to give you positivity, because I'm a very positive person. Every single thing that I post, that I speak about, that I share, that I make a video on is about positivity, okay? So because I believe this world is net positive, not net negative, and that's how we have been through. So that's why maybe you do not know where he was, you do not see him, you did not see his videos of him throwing himself, videos of him, because when I was going through, working with Muhammad, it was not in my mind that I will create Autism Success Academy in future. I did not have this idea. I did not have this thought that I will create a coaching service, I will create a group, I will create a community. Nothing like this was in my mind. That's why I do not have many videos of him going through all of those struggles, okay? Because in my life, just like you are, survival was the main thing I was doing, okay? Not planning on what to do, what to post, showing my people, because I didn't have people, okay? All right. So for today's topic, we are going to be sharing the true, real story of me and my son and our family, from where we were and where we are now, and what you can learn from all of those things, okay? So stay until the very end to learn all the main takeaways on how I learn things, because stories always are nice to hear. And if that story has like a good ending, like a win, like success, that's all the way better, right? So here's starting with a Hollywood style story, okay? So my story started when I was just, I would say what? I am a 36-year-old neurodiverse adult woman. I have struggled 36 years on this earth to make a position for myself. I self-diagnosed myself at the age of 28 that I have ADD and I might be on the spectrum, okay? But I was very much clear that I was an autistic child when Muhammad was showing his behaviors and attitude and his struggles. And then it was very easy for me to understand that, yes, I was that person in my past life as well, okay? So when Muhammad was born, he did not have much of any difficulty. But if you are someone who has been with me in any clarity call, the call that we have to talk about what sort of problems you have had with your child and whatnot, do remember I always ask, did you have any trauma? Did you have any physical, emotional, or mental stress when you were conceiving or when you were pregnant or, after birth of your child? So similar things happened to me as well. And then I was bleeding. I had a little bit like a periodish thing when I was pregnant with him. And then, a lot of other things went on. So his autistic behaviors, his symptoms started showing itself by the age of 7 months, I would say. Because 7 months, 6 months is when you call your son or daughter and then he will respond. Let's say you call him Muhammad. He was supposed to turn, right? Muhammad would never do that. He would never do that. So what I thought was maybe he's just having ADD, like me, autism, ADD. What is ADD? So, or maybe, ADHD like that. So I was like, maybe he's just that, because I did not want to accept. Many of you have this trouble as well. Maybe you don't want to accept. You find it really hard to accept that this is a real struggle, because when you do not accept the problem, you actually feel like you do not have the responsibility to fight for the problem, okay? When you do not accept a problem, you are actually not taking the responsibility to solve the problem, to confront the problem, okay? So we avoided it until like he was 2-year-ish. Around 23 months is when he got diagnosed, and the world broke on my head. I was severely stressed, definitely. And then we tried speech therapy, because that's what everybody tells us to do, right? So I was in Dhaka in 2018, 2017-ish, 2018. I did 2 or 3 speech therapy sessions with him, and then he rarely sat down on the chair and he was like moving around everywhere. And then I could not understand how is this gonna help him speech, help in his speech. And because the speech therapist would tell me, even in Bangladesh, in Canada, all would say the same thing, like, your child is not sitting straight, how am I going to teach him? And I was like, it's your job. You are supposed to tell me why my son is not sitting down. It's not my, how to say, I am not an autism expert. How do I know why my son is not sitting properly? It's your job as a therapist to teach him or to show me how to do it, right? Anyways, long story short, what happened was we tried a few sessions and then I did not like them. And we decided to immigrate to Canada. We started the process, and then he was I would send him to a daycare. And then after the daycare, he was taken care by my mother for a few months until we came back to Canada. So life in Canada was another stressful thing. What happened was I was 6 months pregnant with Ira when I came to Canada. And I still remember the day Ira was born. See, my throat is kind of breaking off. I'm fasting. The Shawwal fasting. And also I am very emotional. Okay. So what happened was Muhammad was already showing a lot of severities in his problem, symptoms. He was having hard time to sleep. We could not brush his teeth because he had very high sensory issues. He could not hold things. He could not climb stairs. And then he could not hold balls or, kick balls, play with larger objects and things like that. And he could not hold any smaller objects as well. So I was like, okay, so we have got ourselves in a line. We are waiting for the diagnosis because we have to get, you have to get your child re-diagnosed if you immigrate to another country, right? So we were waiting for his re-diagnosis, and then pandemic hit. Ira was born, and I specifically remember the day Ira was born, before I went into the operation theater, Muhammad was this 2.5-year-old cute small boy. Cute small baby, not a boy, baby. But right after birth, when Ira was in my lap, I suddenly felt Muhammad was like 5-year-old. This sudden shift of my mind, I think, is what started the avalanche of the problems even more. Because energetically, I was going away from Muhammad, and he understood that. It hurt him a lot. It stressed him a lot. Okay? So when we came back from the hospital, what happened was he became more aggressive. He would bang his head, which he didn't do previously that much. I would say he started banging his head, hurting himself. His head would have this huge, what is this thing called? Bumps, tumpa, okay? These bump things on his head. And then he would have like bruises all over his body. Feeding him was hard because he could not chew his food, right? He could not chew his food, and I thought he's not chewing because intentionally he's not chewing. Just like many of you guys, we think our kids are intentionally behaving like this, intentionally not chewing, intentionally not sleeping, intentionally not speaking, intentionally not learning to poop. So I thought too that he's intentionally doing these things. So I tried to give him solid food because some bhabis came to my home, and then they were like, oh my God, your son is 3-year-old. He's not yet chewing his food, and you are still giving him khichuri, the mashed porridge kind of thing that we give in Southeast Asia. So they mom shamed me. And then Muhammad's daycare over here in Canada, those women, they also mom shamed me. They were like, by the age of 3, kids usually speak and they're able to play, they're able to make friends. You are the one who's not teaching your child everything. You are the one who's being lazy because you think you're the only one with newborn. So all of these people, including my own mother, never accepted that inside I was dying every single day. I was suicidal. I wanted to kill myself. Wallahi, if suicide was not haram in Islam, you wouldn't have seen me. If suicide was not haram in Islam, I would have taken my life. So the deep depression, the deep anxiety, and then I myself was, clinically diagnosed with super anxious anxiety disorder and, suicidal thing. And I was threatened by my doctor that if you do not take these pills, and if you cannot come back to me and tell me that, you're not having suicidal thoughts in 1 month, then I will call the CPC, which is the government agency who takes the child away from parents if the parents cannot take care of the child. So I was threatened by the doctors that if I don't cure my depression by taking their medications and drugs in 1 month, then they will take my kids away from me. This is not Bangladesh, because in Bangladesh we don't have CPC. In Canada we have. So I was faced with this humongous task of keeping up a happy face all the time. So next time when I was talking to my doctor, I was like, yo, I'm fine. I'm doing this meditation. I am going on a walk. All of those were lie because I could not do meditation. I did not have the mindset that time to do all of those things. But I just put up a facade, put up a face so that they will not take my kids away from me. Even though I sometimes would say like, I want to leave them and run away. Please send me some hearts, some love to show me that I am not alone. I am not the only mother who felt like killing herself, who felt like leaving the child and running away. I cannot be the only mom, right? Show me some love. Let me know that I'm not alone. I can see a lot of people here, but I need some comments coming on. Please show me some support, okay? All right, so let's carry on. So at one day, what happened was I understood that I need to take the stance because my husband was not in that mindset yet, and he was not brought up in that way also. And plus, he's a man, right? And Southeast Asian dads are not as, they're like, you know, offhand kind of people. Okay, anyways. So I was like, I scored the internet because I was a very low income family member, right? I was very low income. I did not have much of money that time. So I could not buy courses. I could not buy books. So I got myself, you know, a library membership. I did, you know, Amazon, I had Amazon Prime membership. So what I would do was I would look through deals and everything and find used books. And I read over 50 plus psychology and self-help books, which really helped me a lot, okay? Long story short, slowly, I started healing myself first, okay? And then I moved on to doing a little bit of a detox myself. That's when I tried the elimination diet, which is what I teach you guys. And, you know, I share with you if you subscribe. So please subscribe to our newsletter. I will leave the link in the description as well. Please subscribe to that because every week I send a lot of my inner thoughts, which I do not share in public like this. It's just my personal journal, I would say, and personal way of talking to you one-on-one. So what I do is I did a detox on myself and I felt so good. And then I was like, hold on a second. When I went to the doctor and I, you know, a very big child developmental pediatrician in Canada, very old lady. I went to her, I asked her, okay, my son is a picky eater. He does not eat X, Y, and Z. He's always into, you know, white carbs, rice and wheat-based thing and milk and things like that. What can I feed him to develop his brain? And she said, honey, your child's autistic. It's a permanent condition. You cannot develop his brain. Oh my God, I get so angry when I speak about her. So she was like, he is autistic. You cannot do anything about it. You just accept it. And I was like, he's not eating healthy foods. What can I feed him? Because I think he has some sort of issues. He does not like foods. And then she was like, just keep him alive. I know if you are a repeat follower of mine, you know, I have said it many times already that she said this, keep him alive. That's what my highly educated, multiple degree holder child developmental pediatrician told me. And it did not ring any bell with me. Trust me, because I have started dieting and learning about food from the age of 13. When I was a teenager, I wanted to look sexy and hot and whatnot. So I would learn about food, about drugs, and during the course of my honors in pharmacy, bachelor in pharmacy, master's in pharmacy, and PhD in pharmacy, that time it was 15 years, now it's 17 plus years, right? 14 years. So that time I had 14 years of healthcare education, of body education, of nutraceutical education, of health science to back me up, to tell me that what she's saying is not right. Okay? So what I did was I started finding my own problem. You know, many of you can relate to it because we do not make change in suddenly. Things happen slowly, right? But I would like to know, when was your, because some of you watching today is my student as well. Many of you, Zaina, Mubarra Apu, then Sabina, Yasmina, Nusrat Apu. Many of my students are already here watching me live. So many of you are already there to tell me, what was that exact day when you made the decision that you will work for your child's development and you will not listen to any doctors? Let me know in the comments. Please let me know in the comments. What was the day? What did happen to you when you decided enough is enough? I'm taking matters on my own hand. So let me share my one. What happened was, one day I was very tired and stressed. I wanted him to take his nap. I was pushing him on the bed. Yes, I was doing that. I was pushing him on the bed and he was like, he was struggling. And then I scolded him. And he was still struggling. So I slapped him. I usually don't slap my kids. So I slapped him. And then he started crying and then he went to sleep. When he went to sleep, Ira was also sleeping. So I had like 5 minutes to myself. I sat in front of him. And I was thinking, like, why was he not, why was he struggling? What was he trying to tell me? Because he was nonverbal, right? I have said this many times, but still every single time it kind of hits me again, like fresh. So what happened was I started checking his body to see if there was any, discomfort that he was feeling. So what happened was, he actually pooped in his diaper because he was not potty trained that time. So he pooped in his diaper and he had a diaper full of poop and he wanted to tell me that, clean me up. That was the day when I decided, I slapped myself and I decided that enough is enough. I have to find a way to help my son, even if the biggest, brightest doctors are telling me that nothing can be done, because this is not a life that human beings should. My son is not an animal. My son is not an animal that he will hold on to his poop, he will play with his poop, and he will sleep with his poop. And I could not imagine a 20-year-old Muhammad still diaper on. And that was enough for me. That was the day I decided, yes, I was dirt poor. I did not have $1 to my name. I did not have any asset because I have already sold my jewelries in the course of my educational pursuit, because I'm a self-made woman. And also when I came to Canada. So I sold all my jewelries. I did not have any assets. I only had my education and my mindset. And Alhamdulillah, my husband was like, okay, I'm ready to sacrifice if I have to. Just keep me alive. Give me the bare minimum of food. Let's just, as adults. So me and my husband, we decided to just eat as little as possible so that we could afford help for Muhammad, okay? So anyways, what I started was I started looking outside on the internet to find any alternative service, because medical health, that was the time I finally cut all my love and admiration towards medical healthcare system. I just cut myself off from that. I still do not have a family physician. I do not have a family physician in Canada. Why? Because I am the family physician. okay? So I started searching everywhere, got this woman, which was, Dr. Mary Barbera. I found her on internet, and she talks about ABA therapy. My throat is getting totally dry. So she talks about ABA therapy. I got this book. Let me show you right on. It's unopened actually, because way past the first page, the 17th page, I could not read, because the information said here told me very sad things. The information told by a highly world-renowned therapist or child educator made me realize that this is just sad information. It's telling me that I have to kind of force my son to do things, and I was like, I never touched that book. I just, got it out to show you guys that I have it. And then I started going back to the basics. So I love Ayurveda because it's natural, it's holistic, all approach, and it's very safe, no side effects and whatnot, okay? I myself do not like homeopathy because my mother gave me homeopathy for 28 years. It never did anything good for me. Made me suffer a lot because they were reluctant to take the necessary step to change certain things. They're like, homeopathy is the cheapest, doesn't have side effects, so just go take it. At the end, I had to go through surgeries to get rid of this problem, which could have been resolved way earlier. I did not have to suffer 28 years to avoid something because homeopathy was cheaper for my parents and easily accessible. Anyways, so many of us Southeast Asian parents do like that. We think, let's find the cheapest option for our child and resolve it. But we actually forget how much pain the child actually is going through. And if you, as a human being, try your best to reduce pain of your child, you will be rewarded by Allah. You will be rewarded by God. Okay? All right. So I went all hell broke loose. I tried to find everything, and then I came across to Dr. Rama, Ayurvedic practitioner. He was in Australia. So I found him. I was very happy because he was the only person that time. He was the only person on the internet who was saying something positive about autism. Okay, that, if you change certain things, you can help your child to speak naturally and whatnot. So I got my appointment. He gave me like 5 Ayurvedic products and 3 additional supplements. So he gave me around 8 to 9 supplements for supplements and Ayurvedic, medicines for my son. And then I got them. I started working on them. So around 1 month-ish, he started showing a little bit of a progress, And then in my 1 month progress meeting with the doctor, I told him that, things are improving. So I was talking a little bit more about himself. And then he shared that many of the pediatric association in Australia is trying to ban him because he's saying autism can be helped, can be improved. Okay? So after our discussion, I got some medicines, second dose of medicine from him. I still did not get to pay him because a few days after our communication, he was banned. His website was taken down. He was banned, he was blacklisted, and he was literally obliterated from the earth. And I got scared and I became alone. The only person who was showing a way was gone. Now it's just me and Allah. And I prayed to him. I started my tahajjud again. I'm like, oh my God, what can I do? So in one of our, communication, he told me try to learn a little bit about the GAPS diet. So I bought this book right after he went rogue. He went MIA. I bought this book and I read from head to toe. Okay, it's pretty big of a book. Okay, and then along with the Ayurvedic medications, I started changing his diet also. So while I was doing the changing of the diet part, I faced many problems. Because my son was sensory seeker, he had sensory issue. He was severely picky eater. And the book does not actually show you how to overcome the pickiness. It tells you to follow a food habit, which is very nice. It works 100%, but it does not tells you how to work with your picky eater. Okay? So I had to wear my scientist apron on and my pharmacist badge on, and then start finding ways how to reduce his sensory eating, pickiness, because I learned from my research that his sensory issues are what causing him the picky eating. And then I developed my own system, which is what I teach my students now. So after I was able to overcome his food, and then, slowly I had more improvements coming in, very slow here and there, not very regularly, but just enough for me to keep on, fighting this fight, keep on. I wrote some of the notes because sometimes I get distracted. I'm a neurodiverse, don't forget, okay? So I started changing the lifestyle slowly. I started changing the lifestyle part, removing toxics, removing plastics from our life, eating, giving him, healthy oils, not cooking in what are those things? Cooking in cast iron pans, making him drink better water, buying as little, non-organic produce as possible. But here's the thing. I did not have to go all organic, highly restrictive diet for a very long time, like many of the, many of the advocates in our arena says that, because I could not afford that much of organic food. So I was like, Allah, please help me, bless this food, increase the barakah of this food. I know it's not organic. I know this is halal. That's it. And it's made with love. It's made by a mother who is blessing this food with her love and all the positive energy. Please help my son, get rid of his problems. That was how, the dua, the positivity, the energy was what helped this non-organic food still help him. Another reason was the Ayurvedic, the Ayurvedic supplements. One of the supplement I still use. The others I do not use because I have found out that excess things is not actually my style. My style is simplicity. I follow only 4 to 5 supplements, and I vary the dosage depending on the age and the problem of the child. That's it. Because focusing on a lot of supplements actually is putting a lot of stress on your child's body, okay? So we have started seeing improvement with him. By 6 month-ish is when he uttered his first word, which was mom. By 8 month, it was very clearly calling me mom, okay? Calling me mom, like mom, like that, okay? And then around 1.5 year-ish is when he started saying broken sentences, okay? So all throughout the time, because I knew from the books, I knew from all the stuff that I have studied, that it takes around 2 years for the brain to develop properly. So I had to, wallahi, I had to work on my mindset every single day. My mindset being keeping positive, finding out my limiting beliefs and overcoming those, rewriting my mindset. It is very hard because we are taught many toxic beliefs as Southeast Asians, as Muslims, as girls, as mothers. We are taught many toxic beliefs which are totally causing you all, us all, to stay small. Okay? We are taught many of this, which is what I teach inside of my program. I teach my students all of these things. So we not only talk about your child's development, we talk about your development as well. That's what I learned, because when I started the changes, my whole family's life changed. So I was like, hold on a second. The mom is the main person. The mother is the main person, not just the child. The child's body is doing the miracle, but the miracle carrier is the mother. So the mother needs to be physically rested and healthy. She needs to be mentally stable and happy. She needs to be emotionally very much regulated, not dysregulated. She needs to have very positive mindset and belief system. Because a lot of the times we believe our son is a picky eater, it's his, character, personality. We do not have to change that, or we cannot change that. It's not like that. Your child is a picky eater because of sensory issues. Your child cannot sleep, is, acting weird, behaving bad, is because he has toxins in his body and brain, okay? So I found out that the mother is the key. So now what happened was, it took us around 2 years or more, and it's still developing. Muhammad is still developing. Yes, when you see him now, you might not see, but if you are very careful, you will see he still struggles. Sometimes he doesn't say the full sentence. Sometimes it takes him some repeated, trials to start the sentence, to make up the sentence in his mind first, and then tell that. But we are okay, because I'm not here to cure him. If you come to me thinking that, if she is not curing her son 100%, then she is not legitimate, you are wrong. You only need me to be able to give you the solution that can help you over 50%, and the rest will be like a journey. Life is a journey. Recovery is a journey. Everything in life is a journey. It's not like a destination. So my child will reach his destination, I don't know. When your child will reach his destination, I don't know. Only Allah knows. Only God knows. What I know is this. The 5 pillars that really helps your child and will help your child, if you work through them with time, with patience, and work on your mindset, which is one of the pillars, then you definitely will see the best possible success for your child. Are you ready for the main takeaways? Okay. So the 5 main takeaways are this. The reason, do you remember the first time when I said that the day when everything changed? I bet many of you have those days as well. But you might not be able to make the decision to invest your time, your heart, your money, your resources. Ask yourself why. What is that belief that's holding you back? My number 1 takeaway is the reason why my whole process was kind of like this, kind of smooth, I would say. And when I was working with many mothers, I was like, well, I am telling them the exact steps to follow, but then one mom is getting the result in 2 months, another mom is still struggling after 6 months. What's the difference? The difference was the mindset. The mothers who came to us 100% believing like, I'm not going to see anything else, I'm not going to read a single more blog, I'll just follow this mad woman on what she's saying and just see. Just take this 6 month like a vacation from world and just give everything, just pour everything I have into this program, this protocol, or whatever system, whatever you want to call, and see how it goes. That's the kind of a mother that I was, and that's the kind of a mother, if you are, or those of our students who are like that, they are the ones who start seeing results. So today, this morning, we had a mom from, one of our, because we have two groups. We have one group that's Bangla and then one group that's English. So there was this mom who showed her son eating on his own. Okay, I cannot show for a long time because of privacy issues. So the child is, just one last time, the child is eating food on his own, and she is with us just over a little over 1 month. She's with us just a little over 1 month. That's it. This child was very much hyperactive. He was always crying, very much agitated. He would, cry and then fall on the ground and then, like do all those cranky kind of things that kids does. And he was like that. But in around 1 month, the child is self-feeding himself. All of these things are actually very much possible for you as well. So the first takeaway from our story, from our real raw story, by the way, if anybody got offended by me crying, I'm sorry, but I couldn't just, manage. You cry when you say your struggles. We are humans. I do not accept that just because I'm a professional, I have to always be prim and proper. I like to be me, okay? And I know you guys like that as well. So the first thing that will make or break your success, your child's success, is your mindset, your belief system. So my mindset and belief system was already a little bit there because I did not believe that much in autism. Now I have proof that autism is like a diagnosis which is given to your child if your child is showing A to Z or anything in between, symptoms, anything in between this whole thing. That's it. When your child is not showing all of these symptoms or most of these symptoms, they will not diagnose your child with autism. So now tell me, is it a permanent condition? No. What is autism? It's nothing. It's just a diagnosis. You can let go of the diagnosis by following the proper protocol, okay? So the mindset piece is what we work very hard. We teach our students many modalities. I myself am getting certified. I spend over $15,000 on that, and I'm still spending. I'm still learning, and all of those tools I have distilled. I'm not teaching everything that I have learned because then you will become mad. What I am teaching is only the few things that will give you the best results. That's it. Because you do not have to learn everything. You do not have to follow every protocol. You only need to follow one thing, one step at a time. Okay? The second thing that we did was we went to the doctor, right? And then he gave some Ayurvedic medication, which is non-toxic, natural, 100% natural. So he gave some Ayurvedic medication which helped in the detoxification of Muhammad. And that gentle detoxification helped me see changes in him enough for me to be able to implement the next steps. Okay? And then he told me about the gaps, right? About the gaps book. And then I myself learned about I'll leave the links of everything. 30-day grain-free. I give this book PDF free to my students as well. So I learned many books and, stuff about it, changed the diet, found out the one that was working for him because only gaps might not be the perfect thing for you. I have heard and I have, read many of the comments that some mothers tried gaps and then they failed and they just lost faith in diet. The thing is, a diet will only work if the mindset piece is there. Number one. Number two, a diet will work if the diet is addressing the problem of your child's particular problem. So if you are trying gaps on your own at home, you might not have the enough knowledge to find the exact problem your child is having. So I would say try a little bit, but don't try to be, what's the best word other than stingy? I don't know. Okay. Invest in courses. If not me, because I'm a little expensive, but worth it. If not me, find courses, find person, find naturopath, find alternative, find a professional that can guide you properly, because you need professional guidance. Recovery from autism is not a DIY job. I am a pharmacist. I am also, certified, I would say, like trauma healer, getting my certification, okay? And also a neurodiverse adult. But I still would seek professional help for myself, and I seeked professional help for Muhammad, because I am not everything, and I do not have to be everything. I do not have to be everything, do everything, because trying to be everything, do everything, and save every single penny will make you even more poor in the long run. Why? Because inexpensive solutions are more expensive in the long run. Inexpensive solutions are more costly in the long run, because you waste your time, you waste your energy, you keep trying to replace the cheap stuff, the cheap stuff that you keep. Let's say you buy a $5 plastic water bottle, it breaks, you buy again, it breaks, you buy again. By 1 year, you actually spend way more than you would have bought a $30 Stanley dabba. Okay? So because we are like, no, that's expensive, this is cheaper, let me buy this one. But at the long run, we usually spend more in the cheaper options, okay? All right, so the third thing was the diet. The fourth is I learned a lot about toxins, about natural way of removing toxins from the body, from our environment. I learned to find non-toxic alternative to, dish soap, body soap, skincare products, and laundry products and cleaning things and whatnot. I made a lot of things on my own. So all of those things help. That's what the lifestyle piece is. And that's what I teach as the fourth pillar. And the fifth, last pillar was need-based parenting. So need-based parenting is, I did not know it then. I had to give it a name so that I can teach you guys properly. I loved and accepted Muhammad 100%. 100%. The only person in the world who accepted all of him was me. No one else. Was only me. But I did not accept his struggles. I worked for them. I helped him overcome those struggles. So you accepting your child also means taking the responsibility to helping him. I gave him his body and mind more than enough time to recover. I did not push him to show results like his dad or others people like, oh, you have been following this weird diet of yours. It's been 6 months. Your son is not speaking yet. It's been 1 year. Your son is still not speaking, in sentence or, talking to us or being social. Now, those same people sometimes say, are you sure your son had autism? Because he doesn't show any autistic behavior. And I'm like, this is the beauty of autism recovery. This is the beauty of autism recovery, because autism is just a diagnosis when your child shows certain symptoms. And those symptoms are connected to the gut, they're connected to the brain, they're connected to the environment and how you process, you take care of him. When you remove all of those problems one by one, the diagnosis goes away. And that's how Muhammad can now be so highly functional, and you cannot say that he's autistic, because he's not. Being autistic is when your child is showing the wrong attitudes, the wrong behaviors. Okay? One more thing. You cannot change your child's behavior through behavior therapy. Yes, you can improve very little, but you cannot completely eradicate all of those behaviors. So, ABA and all of those therapies really doesn't work. What works is finding out why your child is behaving like that and removing those reasons. Okay? So occupational therapy is given when your child has, motor skill, less motor skill, cannot take care of himself. All those massage, even I do massage. I teach massage as well. Massage helps the muscles to get toned and to remove toxins, because massage helps with the, lymphatic drainage. But if you are not changing diet, if you are not changing, doing detoxification for your child, if you are not removing extra, toxins from his environment, then all of this massage, all of this brushing and, sensory brushings and all of those BS that the therapist force your child to go through is just bullshit. I wish I did not fast today so that I could drink some water, because I'm getting thirsty, really. Okay. So what happens is, if your child has sensory issues, cannot brush teeth, you take him to an occupational therapist, and then what do? They force your child to brush things, right? They force your child to, they hold your child's jaw, and then they force certain things, and then they force brushing. Your child's body is sensitive. It's a lot like you having sensitive teeth. How would you feel if I brushed your teeth, sensitive teeth, with sandpaper? Would it help to reduce sensory issue, or will it increase? I bet it will increase, and it will give you a lot of trauma and a lot of pain. That's what you are doing. That's what the occupational therapists are doing if they are brushing and, doing all of those sensory reducing things, because sensory issues comes from inside and has to be reduced from inside. That's it. Occupational therapists can it has to be soft and subtle, giving you some sort of activities. If it's activity based, let's say teaching your child to play, to use his body, it's fine. Play based therapies are quite fine. But if you are forced to brush, body brushing and all of those forced brushing things, you are only making it worse. Just use this example and you will understand. If you have sensitive teeth, try to brush your sensory issue out by using a sandpaper, because that's what they are saying. To reduce your son's sensory issues, you have to brush it harder. No, that's painful for your child. That's why many autistic adults, do not want to talk about recovery. Hates us if we talk about recovery, because they think we are not accepting their problem. The true essence of us, of what I teach at least, is I accept your child's problem and I do not disregard it. I accept your child's problem. I do not disregard it. I try to find out, going inside the body, why your child is having sensory issues, why your child cannot speak, why he is having meltdown, why he is banging his head, and we solve that. Yes, it will take some time and you have to be patient. Nothing comes in the world without working, okay? So now our program is the distilled version of my 6 years of raising a child on the spectrum, of a 36-year-old woman living 36 years as a neurodiverse in the world. Our program now has 17 plus years of my healthcare education and scientist background. It also has the knowledge and experience that I have gleaned from working with 65 plus students till date. Okay? So if you are interested to learn more about us, I'll leave all the links below. My students, my current students, my graduate students, they have shared a lot of testimonials, written or videos. You can watch them as well. All of them are pinned or in the playlist client testimonial. All of those things are available to you. You do not have to work with me. You just have to believe that your child's diagnosis can be refuted. Autism is just a diagnosis, and it can go away with the right support, because your child's brain is not damaged. Your child's sensory issues are not because of personality or because he's a bedok, he is trying to be insolent. No. Your child is not choosing to be autistic. Your child is struggling, and all of those struggles comes from inside. So you have to work with inside. You know, the fruits that a tree bears is connected to the depth and how much nutrient the roots receive. It's not Bangladesh. You know, only in Bangladesh people inject sucrose into tormuz. What's that? Watermelon. Color into watermelon. Sweetness into watermelon so that the watermelon becomes sweet. That's what we are doing with our kids on the spectrum. We are trying to push sweetness from outside rather than trying to build the roots of the child's brain so that the child's brain is nourished enough and can become a sweet fruit. Why that is not happening is just a discussion for another day. Just for today, thank you so much, Randa. Yeah, the analogies are what makes the understanding. And my teaching, you know, I have been a teacher since 2006. I got my first student on 2006, and I have been teaching since 2006. So I'm a very old teacher as well. So stop pushing sweetness from outside. Stop brushing sensory issues from outside. Stop giving in to pizzas and burgers and pastries. Try to understand why your child is a picky eater, how you can overcome them, because mindset is a part. And the 5 pillars, once again, your mindset, your positivity, your belief system dictates your choices. Whether you feel like you are capable to fight the fight or you just give up. I'm not mom shaming you. Giving up is fine. I gave up for a long time. But someday, it might not be today, it might be today, but someday you have to raise yourself up from the ground. You have to take matter in your own hand. You have to make the decision to work on. And please do not believe all the bullshit and the things that this medical system is telling you, that your child is a permanent case. Autism is like permanent thing. No, it's not. Because you guys yourself say that my son does not look autistic, does not behave like autistic. Because if I go take him, do diagnosis again, he will come as non-diagnosed or undiagnosed. So, the final thought is this. Your child having autism is just a diagnosis. It's not a permanent condition. You can recover diagnosis. You can let go of all of these things. Okay? So, after a very long time, so my partner has, given our program page, program details, which is www.autismsuccessacademy.com/programs is where you go and you learn more about our program. We give extensive support to people. And if you are from Bangladesh, you have extra support and benefits from me because I'm from Bangladesh and I want to do something for my country. If you are from Ghana, Nigeria, and the low or lower income countries, please let me know as well. We will try our best to accommodate something. Yes, the amount is same for everybody. I do not give discounts or scholarship because it will be dishonor to those who paid me the full amount. I do not do that because I hate partiality. Partiality happened with me all throughout my life, so I hate partiality. So please do not come and request a discount. I will not give you a discount. What I can give you is scholarships. So our scholarships are like this. The amount is same, but you might get better service. You might get longer time to pay so that you get more classes, more access to us. At the same time, you pay the same price that everybody else is paying. Okay? That's my point of view. Anyways, I hope today's session gave you some food for thought. Not hope. I truly believe I gave you a lot of information today. A lot of real proof. You can do many, many miracles. They're just at the tip of your hands. Please make the decision to change your child's life by accepting the responsibility. Sometimes you need to be the only person fighting. You go to your husband, you request for some money, he's not giving you, fine. Sell your jewelries. Sell your asset if you have. Borrow money. I did that too. Everybody does. Your child is your asset. Your jewelries are not your asset. If somebody steals them away, they're gone. Your building is not your asset because if an earthquake comes, it's gone. Your land is not a permanent asset because if somebody forges a sign and does jomi dokhol kind of thing, that land might be lost. The only asset that you can build for your child is to make your child independent. That's the best asset. Now, if I die, I will be happy that he can grow up, he can earn his own bread. I do not have to build assets for Muhammad. Okay? With that, Allah Hafiz, thank you so much. Please go back to our YouTube channel and subscribe because that really helps me. Subscribe to our newsletter as well because that gives me an opportunity to talk to you, to be in your surface because Facebook is not my property. I am renting Facebook's property to come in live and show you stuff. If Facebook bans me or reports me or blocks my account, I will lose access to you. You will lose more. You will lose access to me. Okay? So make sure that you go subscribe to our the newsletter as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz. Bye.